are back once again. Wednesday night. We are back. We are live. You are, in fact, listening to Beyond Sight and Sound, metal detecting and treasure hunting radio for you, the always valued and appreciated listener. And I see we've got Beer Barrel was the first to fall into the chat with Suki. Craig M. Striker's in the house, so there's some support coming out of the Chicago area. I believe he's there around the Chicago area. I know he's an Illinois hunter. So we do have people dropping into the chat. Always good to see. Thanks to all the listeners who are dropping in, tuning in, calling in, you know, all of that stuff. I am your host, Josh Kimmel, and with me tonight is the ever-prevalent co-host, Kenny Moore. How is it going?
It's going good, brother. Just getting ready to head for the hills, so to say. Should have already been gone. Krista had little Miss Dirt Bandit there, had some dental stuff come up, and I didn't want to leave her like that. So I'll be heading out Saturday morning. No, let's say I'll be digging till either December or the first frost, whichever comes first, and it's usually the frost.
And we have not only one, but two stealth diggers in the house already. I see Mr. Keebler dropped in, along with Trooper Bry.
Yes, he did. How's it going, Mr. Keebler?
And Relic Dirty Hands, which brings up a interesting aspect for those who may not recognize that screen name. If you are in fact into the metal detecting and treasure hunting forums online, you gotta drop in and check out Treasure Illustrated. Let them know if you sign up, it's free to sign up. Let them know you heard about them on Beyond Sight and Sound, or String Frenzy sent you. I am a member on the forum. Great group of people. They're doing some nice things there, making some changes, and there's even a little spot there for the Beyond Sight and Sound promos and shows. So, gotta check that out.
Good deal.
And for those hunters, if you're looking for equipment, don't forget, check out Ironclad Detectors, check out our friends over at Treasure Hunter Supply. I'm sure you've got a couple to mention too, Kenny.
Yeah, CS Relics, run by Charles Stafford, is a great place to get your stuff, and he does a lot for this area in the southern part, especially with the daises. Of course, we have Rich up there, and I believe he's in Connecticut now with Colonial Metal Detecting.
Colonial Detectors. And being as our guest this week is out of Chicago, we should probably throw a shout out to Ron Shore of Windy City Detectors.
Yes, indeed.
That way, if you're a Chicago hunter and you're looking for the hookup, guy can get it done. Nice guy to talk to, too. I spoke with him last year. What was that? Back in August during Detectapalooza. So,
yes.
But I see Swansea's in. Leighton. Shout out to Leighton.
Yeah, Leighton just popped in. How you doing, Leighton?
And I suppose the show can't really go on much further without a guest. We should probably get him in here, too. Our guest this week is actually Tommy Decker out of Chicago. He'll be discussing some of the things going on there in Chicago, maybe the curb strip hunting, his videos, his group. So let's get him in here, too. How is it going, Tommy?
How's it going, Josh?
All right. It has been a little bit, what was that, maybe, I don't know, a little over a year ago since you were last on the show?
At least, yeah.
Just fresh into the hobby.
Yeah, I'm thinking, a Oh, I'd have to go back and check the archives to see for sure. I want to say somewhere around July.
Yeah, about then. Yeah, right after I got into the hobby. I think I was
And
on.
videos got to you, didn't it, Tommy?
Hey, I'll tell you, we were kind of talking about that before we had went live, and he was talking how he had seen some episodes on TV, and you got on and started checking out different metal detecting videos on YouTube, and metal detecting in Chicago, and naturally that's going to lead right to Chicago Ron's doorstep. And he got to see some of Ron's videos too, and just he's like, man, I gotta get involved.
Absolutely, man. You can't just sit
Yeah.
back and watch everybody else do it.
Yeah, and Ron, definitely a great guy, and from what I hear, the proud new owner, Kenny, of Adeus.
Yeah.
I knew it. I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if he isn't planning on sneaking that thing over to England.
Oh, guarantee
Well,
it.
you see, I believe it was last year. I think it was him that told me, surprisingly, when they went over there, that he was expecting, because that's when, a year and a half when the Deus has really started really picking up, and surprisingly, he said he got over there, and now this has been a year ago. This ain't been his trip this year. I haven't talked to him since then, but he said surprisingly, the E-Track was the #1 machine over there, hunting those coins and silver and different stuff. So, but I'm curious to see, since he just got the Deus. It may have been a little different this time when he went over.
Well, and he'll be going over middle of next month.
Again already?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Nice.
Well, you figure he spends 6 weeks a year roughly over there, if I remember right.
Something like that. But you know what? Good luck to him. And find all those, the hordes and stuff like that's got to be incredible. But man, just give me a CS buckle down here in the south somewhere.
There
Yeah,
you
I
go.
don't know. I'd love to go over there and find one of those Celtic gold coins.
Absolutely.
That's true. Tommy's got an excellent point.
Well, the show's
I
full
can't
of
say-
research if you listen to it.
Yeah, I can't say as I would be, disappointed or saying, oh no, I can't do that if I had the option to head to England and try to get one of those myself.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
We've got to take it where we can get it, and like we discussed the other week on the show, treasure is where you find it.
Yep.
It is.
You just got to get your coil over it. That's all there is to it. It's a very simple equation. Definitely. But like we said, it was a little over a year ago probably that you were on the show, Tommy. You were, as you said, fresh into the hobby basically. Maybe 6 months under the belt at that point. Right around there probably. And at that point, I believe, if memory serves correctly, you were running a Ace 250.
Yeah, at that point, I'd gotten to my Ace 250. When I first started, I actually ran across Ron's video and then got a hold of him and ended up buying my first metal detector, an Ace 150 from him.
Okay.
Yeah, by that time, well, I was at the lake and dropped my Ace 150 into a giant flooded area and fried it. And then
I remember
Yeah,
that.
that's right. Yeah. And then you got a Ace 250 from MetalDetector.com, I believe.
Yep, sure did. I gotta give a shout out to those guys, man. They seen that I was finding some good stuff with my 150. I dropped it and fried it and they got a hold of me like 2 or 3 weeks later and sent me a brand new Ace 250.
Right. And then how long did you run that? Because currently you run an AT Pro, correct?
Yeah.
Great machine.
Mm-hmm.
I had the Ace 250 I ran for a while, for maybe about 2 months. And then my hunting partner at the time had an Ace 350, so I started using that. And that's when I started doing more dirt digging. And then I got an AT Pro. So, AT Pro, man, that
I like
machine,
it.
I don't think I'll ever give it up.
I tell you what, I like it and the Pro. I mean, you know, the Gold.
And the Gold,
both of
yeah.
them, yes, both of them are just outstanding machines for what they do. And you drop it in the water and you're all right.
Yeah, I've dropped it a few times in the water, and luckily it's waterproof. So.
I have
Right.
I have a tether to mine because some of the places has this little current that I go in, so it just kind of hangs behind me while I'm down there messing around.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, there's a new name in the chat. A
I
Mr.
see.
Josh Marsh.
Yeah.
Says, go Tommy. Well, hello Josh, and welcome to the show. Of course, that's a little
Absolutely.
odd. Hi Josh, I'm Josh. But, yeah, you seem to be doing very well with the 250. You progressed to the 350 for a little bit, and the way it seemed at that point, you started to come back from the beach and go more to the dirt. Then you switched to the AT Pro, but with your videos, it seems like you are still hunting primarily dirt. Have you gotten away from the beach altogether, or do you still hit the beach?
I mainly go every now and then when my hunting partner is mostly a beach hunter, so whenever he goes out, I'll go with him. But
Okay.
yeah, for me, mostly I've stuck the dirt. I like finding the coins and relics over the jewelry and clad and stuff you find at the lake.
Right. And that is one nice thing about Chicago. You certainly have your variety. Not to say you can't find them in both places, but it seems like in Chicago, if you want jewelry, fresh drops of coins, you hit the beach.
I remember when you were down here for Detective Palooza, y'all found some silver coins down by the lake.
Yeah, that's right. We did have some silver. We had some jewelry. And for people who have hunted smaller populated areas, we'll say, to actually go and hunt in Chicago, wow. The clad coins breed like bunnies in the dirt.
Yes, they do.
Wow.
They're all
Yeah.
over the place. I mean, between, it was me, Ryan Hollabue, and Reese Burnett, Reese Burnett that was hunting together primarily those days that weekend. And I'd venture to say between the three of us, we probably pulled $50+ worth of clad out.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Not
If
to
you go to
mention
the
some
lake.
silver coins and some jewelry.
Yeah, if you go to the lake and you go to the popular beaches, I've walked out of there with like $15, $20 in clad.
Oh, yeah.
So you can find a coin.
Right. So I got a question for you real quick there, Mr. Tommy, and because I also found my first musket ball with an Ace 250. And I liked using that machine when I started out. I'm thankful that I used that machine because you learn the tones before you even think about looking at any numbers or anything like that. And anytime that somebody asks me, I've got a young one coming up, wants to get into this, I always say the 250 simply because you need to learn the tones, because tones finds the targets. You can't go by a lot of the other stuff a lot of the times. You got to go by the tones. And that machine you have to do it.
Yep. Yeah, with the 250 and the 350, you have to learn the tones. And then progressing to the AT Pro, it was really easy progression for me. As I know, it's like some people that I've talked to that have gone from like bounty hunters to an AT Pro, it's kind of harder. But I don't know if it's through the same line of Garrett machines or just, listening to the tones. With the AT Pro, it's a lot easier just to pick stuff out.
Right. Well, you just got to spend hours with the machine, no matter what it is. You got to spend hours with it. You got to dig everything. Dig what you hear and learn what you're listening to because, the dirt's different in some areas. They get the tone different in some areas, and that's why I just say dig it all, baby, because I just dig it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah.
You've got to. There ain't no better way to learn your machine.
Of course.
You've got to learn what that thing is telling you.
I do have a lot of iron here at the house, so. But with that, also be careful because there's a lot of iron relics out there. The Confederates, a lot of sword hooks were iron. They even had iron buckles with CS on them. So just look at it before you throw it in the trash bucket.
Yeah, was it? The snake buckles, I believe. Those were iron, weren't they?
Yes. Some of them, they are brass ones as well, but yes. And, it's... I like finding the iron because when that AT Pro or Gold especially with the iron audio on it, or the DS with it's got kind of a similar iron audio to it, and a lot of the other machines. When you get into that iron, you're getting where people have been. So that's the first exciting part of it. Yeah, you got to dig some of it up, but look, man, I have dug it and I've pulled up lock plates on muskets and stuff. So I dig it. I don't care what it is, man. If it's iron, it's coming out.
Right. Looks like Susie Q's in the house. Welcome to her.
Yes.
And Leighton put it well. If you're looking for any sort of definition for it, it's tones, depth, then numbers.
Absolutely.
Because audio is going to win out over VDI every time.
Now, see, Mr. Kabler said big iron. Would that have anything to do with like an ox shoe?
Oh, yeah, he loves those.
One of these days, I'm going to go find the biggest magnet I can and mail it to him.
I know it.
Put it on the bottom of his detector.
Seriously, though, Keebs is a great guy. Always a pleasure to talk to him. He's got such an energy about things.
And him with that Deus, man, like I was talking to Josh before, is like the end of the year, I'm looking at maybe getting another machine and watching the Stealth Diggers with him using that Deus and Kenny too. Got me really interested in getting one of those things.
I'll tell you what, the first time that I swung one over soil was at Shiloh with a couple of buddies of mine that had been watching with their buddies now. And they had watched my videos for a long time, never posted really nothing in it. And then when I went to a hunt, they come up and they said, "Hey, is this Dirt Bandit?" I was like, "Yeah, Kenny Moore, how are you?" And, and they would say, "Hey, man, we watch your videos and stuff." And ended up that, we became, good friends. We're going all over the South up here, hunting around, and got to go to some neat places that they knew of and vice versa. So, but that Deus was at Shiloh. He says, "Here, try this Deus." He handed it to me, and I could not believe how light it was. I just couldn't believe it. And the distances and the terrain I go in sometimes, the lighter the better, obviously. But the flat button was the first target I found with it in the first 5 minutes I was using it.
Right. And speaking of buttons, you just found a nice button there the other day, didn't you, Tommy?
Oh, yeah. An old post office department button.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
really,
love seeing them POD buttons.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, did you know what that was when you recovered it, or did you have to do any research on it?
Oh, yeah, I had to research it. In the video, you watch them, like, all it has on it is a guy walking and it says POD. It was like, I had no idea what it was.
Yeah.
I got home and looked it up. I was like, oh.
And were you able to date that to a specific time frame?
I haven't yet. I'm looking for a way to clean it without damaging it any farther, because once I did like brush the dirt off of it when I got it home, the shank on the back is there, but the middle area where the shank was has fallen through the button, and the shank's completely come unattached.
I tell you what,
so it's deteriorating pretty well.
Yes, it is. You know, really on buttons, and we had a kind of a little debate about them when D.A. Frank was on,
right?
Which is a book of knowledge himself. But
yes, he is.
You know, there's, you know, should you electrolysis buttons or should you not, and all, you know, this stuff. I can't and won't, because I just don't, you know, I just don't want to do it. But soap and water, let it set for a little bit, you know, and just see what happens, you know, dry it off real good and put it in a little box, and you know, make sure the moisture's off of it. And I don't know if I'd do much of that one if it's already, if you can see through it, especially.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I didn't want to electrolyze it just for the fear that, that they would just make it fall apart even worse. But it's kind of, on the back, you can see part of the marking on it, but it's got like pieces of concrete because it came out from underneath the corner of a sidewalk section. So that's the only limit there, is how to clean some of that off without damaging it any farther.
Oh,
right.
Yeah. So you got that at, like, on a sidewalk area? Is that what you just said?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One of his curb strip hunts.
Okay, I haven't seen it. If he's got video, I need to go watch those here. If you, and other places down here, and I mean, but I always watch. I got a couple of guys on the county department here in the city, and they'll call me and they'll say, "Hey, we're gonna rip up part of the sidewalk up here. We need to put some new sidewalk in. Just giving you a heads up." And I'm like, "Woo!" So, you know, they'll pull that up, and then me and another guy went up, and they pulled about 30 feet of sidewalk up. It's been there for a long time. I think there was a Stand-in Liberty came out of there. So I found 2 Eagle buttons and four musket balls and some 3-ringers just in that strip here in this city, or in this town, I should say, where the Battle of Iuka took place. But
nice.
Yeah, man. Anytime they dig up anything around here, I'm sniffing at it.
Right. And speaking of the curb strips, because if I remember right, originally you were kind of hunting parks and beaches, maybe a few private yards, occasionally a sidewalk tear out. What brought you to the whole aspect of the curb strip hunting?
Well, yeah, when I first started off, I was mostly at the lake for, well, the first whole summer last year when I first got in the hobby. I wasn't working at the time, so I had plenty of time in the middle of the section, would almost get out every day. And in the area where I live in Chicago, at the end of last year, they started doing a lot of gas and water work and the curb strips and everything in people's yards. And I just happened to come across it and was like, oh, they're digging dirt up from 10, 12, 15 feet and leaving it right there on the curb strip. I might as well check it out.
Well,
so
yeah,
absolutely. That kind of progressed me into the curb strips, and then I, researched it and found out that you can detect the curb strips, and from there on, I've pretty much majority been curb strip hunting.
Well, and from what people have seen on your videos, it has been productive for you. You've made some very nice finds, as well as some very interesting finds out of these curb strips. Now, with your experience with the Ace 150, 250, 350, compared to the AT Pro, do you find that maybe you dig less trash with the AT Pro, or less iron, maybe?
I kind of still do, just because I run the AT Pro wide open, or if I do use any discrimination, I set it to about 35 with iron audio on. So I will still dig trash, and a lot of times if it's a lot of the curb strips now, I actually research to try to find if it was older homes on the block and where they were, stuff like that. So I'll dig a lot of the trash just to get it out. And also at the time of them replacing the sidewalks, there's nails from the boards when they pour the concrete back in and everything. So to get to the good stuff, a lot of times you got to dig all that, just go in there all day and just dig all that stuff out just to, pull out a few good finds.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to be willing to dig the trash to get to the good stuff, because you never know. It could be masking something, and sometimes that trash turns out to be treasure.
That's right. And you remember, everything's layered. I mean, the older stuff is deeper, and the deeper you go, the older it gets.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I've seen, especially there in Chicago, you get a lot of the interesting old compacts or pocket watches and things like that digging in those ranges.
Oh, I just found my first one about maybe 2 weeks ago on a curve strip, my first old pocket watch.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I believe in the video you mentioned that was a bucket lister for you.
Oh, yeah. I've been wanting to find one. It's not something that people may have on their bucket list, but for me, it's something I've seen a lot of interesting finds of ones other people have found, so something I always wanted to.
That's true. That it is certainly an interesting find, and it goes to show too, like you said, some people may not have something like that on their bucket list, but the bucket list is a unique list to each of us, so we've all got different sorts of finds or types of finds on there that we would like to find.
Absolutely.
And that also brings up another interesting aspect. Recently, you have began a YouTube channel, Detecting Chicago, and you've been sharing videos of your adventures in curb strip hunting and stuff like that. What do you use to do your videos, and how do you edit them?
I have a Midland, one of their action cameras. I had another one before that was kind of like a cheaper version of a GoPro, but the audio really wasn't that great. But I bought the Midland at the same time, and it switched to that, and ever since then I've been using that. And for editing, right now I just use Windows Movie Maker that came on my computer. But I'm looking at getting some better software to add some more features into my videos.
Well, and it seems like it's been working okay for you. The Hoover Boys, they use Windows Media Player, Windows Movie Maker to edit their videos.
I used it a couple of times.
Right. That's what I heard a bit about that, yeah. He kind of helped me out when I first started editing and using it, so.
Oh, well, if he was a little bit of guidance there, you're definitely in good hands.
Yeah, I talked to when I started making my videos, I talked to a few guys who made videos and asked, like, what kind of cameras, what kind of editing software they use and everything, and he was a good help. Him and Charlie from the Self Diggers gave me some good pointers and all that, so been doing all right with making the video.
Yeah, and what is it? I'm trying to remember now. Maybe a dozen videos up on your channel now? 13. I have another one from this past Monday's hunt that I went to. I haven't gotten to edit yet, but that'll make number 14 once I get it up. And Keepler just posts in the chat, number 13's a great video, Tommy. And
what's the name of that channel?
Freedom, too.
What's the name of that channel, Tommy?
Detecting Chicago. Yeah, and the 13th video is recently I had found I'd went to go do an old boulevard here in Chicago, and really I spent like 3 hours in like 98-degree heat, and really found like maybe like 2 wheat pennies, and there was just so much trash. And wandering back home, a lot of places I go to around close to me, I walk, and just found a curb strip that they had tore out, and it was pretty much like one whole side of a block was just all dirt. And so I was like, might as well try it. And if you watch my videos before, previous to this, I had a curb strip that I called the Giving Curb Strip, and this is kind of become my second one. So.
Nice.
Well, it sounds like that one's got some good potential then, because I know the Giving Curb Strip video, you were definitely pulling some nice finds out of there.
Oh yeah, for like 2 or 3 weeks at that spot, going back there over and over again, I was getting good stuff.
Right.
Just was shaping up to be the same.
Awesome. And I guess with you running the AT Pro now, have you noticed, say, maybe places that you hunted with the 250? Do you find yourself going back to see if maybe you missed anything and you're making more finds out of that area with the AT Pro?
Oh yeah, just going back with the AT Pro to a lot of places, I found stuff, and then recently I added the AL 5-inch shark coil, and went back to even places again that I had gone to that were like super iron or super trashy sites, and still pulling stuff out of there. So.
Right. I do recall seeing a video that was, I mean, very, very iron infested. You could hear it in the audio.
Oh yeah, that was probably when I went to there's a old park here in Chicago that used to be an amusement park until about like the 70s they tore it down, and before then it was an old German immigrant sharpshooting club area, and then before, like in the beginning of the founding of Chicago, it was a city dump. So that place with just the iron, you can walk through there and still see the giant pipes that would go to all the waterworks for the different rides they had at the amusement park. Better yet, the iron stuff that's left there from even before then.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've got a pretty good idea of the park you're referring to as well. And Keebler mentions that he just loves the ice cream truck music in the video.
That was completely random. It's like, I did not plan that at all. There was an ice cream truck going by, and a few people have commented on that one.
Yeah, I heard it in the video, and that sounds like
Yeah,
an ice cream truck.
I've got one I didn't put up yet. I got to put it up, though. It's last year when I was ginseng. I was up in the mountains and I had a bear. I mean, it wasn't very far from me. It just let me know he was there, and that was on the video. And, of course, you know, I took off.
Right.
And clamps.
Yeah, exactly. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they happened to bring up snakes, and I was like, well, you know, Kenny, if he's around, he'll probably pick them up and dance with them.
Actually, I do catch them, and I used to milk them for a little money. I had a pharmacy kind of deal contract, but I don't really, you know, hurt them unless they're in an area where they're going to hurt somebody else. I mean, I'm in their territory when I'm in the mountains. I'll move them out of my way, something like that, but I don't, you know, I'm not going to kill it, and unless it's a threat to myself or my kids or something like that. But just being raised, you know, up there in the hills, you just kind of respect their territory, like, you know, we expect anybody else to respect ours. But yeah, I got hit last year. Matter of fact, Josh, if you remember.
That's right. As a matter of fact, I had brought that up in that conversation that I was having with those people, because they're like, what? He's crazy. No, he's certifiable.
Right. Well, it was a situation where, you know, there was a nice ginseng plant. You know, I was down at the root, but it was next to an old tree under a root. So I had to dig and dig and dig. It took me like 35 minutes to get to where I could pull this root out without damaging it. And, you know, I felt something, but I didn't, you know, it was stinging. I didn't pay that much attention to it until you know, the vertigo set in. I looked and I was like, oh man, I kicked that piece of wood back, and there he was, little copperhead. So I just kind of, you know, tied it off a little bit, went back to camp and slept it off. Got up and started digging the next morning.
Yeah, because at that point you were far enough in. It wasn't like you were going to get out of there for medical attention. Yeah,
I was 6 miles, at least 6 miles in there. And 6 miles is not like walking down the road 6 miles. This is up, down, up, ridges, down. It's a long ways, and there's no way to... You just had to make camp and deal with it.
Yeah. Right. So, hunting the curb strips and stuff like that, Tommy, you've been knocking quite a number of finds off of that bucket list. How is that going for you? Is the list getting smaller quickly, or do you having to kind of chip away?
Yeah, it's been smaller. I got the pocket watch. The one coin that's like everybody finds them is like eluded me for like a whole year was finally finding a buffalo nickel. And yeah, at this new curb strip, I finally found one. I had it
Nice.
all the way under a giant root, but I got it out.
Well, that's the important part. Get them out of the ground so they're not rotting away and all of that.
Man, I've got some good stuff. Some of the buttons I've gotten, beginning of the year, I pulled a 1925 Standing Liberty quarter. That was in really good shape. And
Nice.
that was a good one.
Nice, yeah. And what year did you say that was again? A 25?
Yep, 1925.
Nice.
And about 2 weeks before that, I pulled one Standing Liberty that was worn smooth, no date or anything. And I was like, man, I wish it had a date. And then like 2 weeks later, I pulled that coin, and I almost had
Yeah, a lot of times they do come out of the ground dateless.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but hey, a Standing Liberty, that's still a good find, even if it doesn't have a date when you find them that way.
Yes, absolutely.
Definitely.
I knocked another one off at the beginning of the year in like January when I first started getting out, using the 350 skills in, and got a 1905 Hong Kong large cent. So I sort of got the large cent marked off the bucket list, but I'd still like to find a U.S. large cent. So
Right. Now that had a Hong Kong large cent. That had to have been kind of confusing at first, wasn't it?
oh yeah, I got it out, and it was like had really dark green patina. I'm like, if this is a large cent, I'm gonna go crazy and run up and down the street yelling like a wild person.
Hang
But then I
from a
started
tree or
wiping it
two.
off. Yeah, I started wiping it off, and I'm like, this kind of doesn't look like a coin that I know.
Yeah,
But yeah, I
it
cleaned
looks
it up.
like something, but what?
Well, my coin for the bucket list, and one was found here about 4 years ago, about 20 miles from me, and that was a CS Confederate gold piece. So
Oh, man.
the guy had been hunting. He got a fisher. He had been hunting about 4 weeks when he found that, and of course, everybody around here was trying to offer him, hey, I'll give you $1,000 and all this stuff. But, luckily, somebody got to him and said, no. But they are out there. I mean, where is,
Right.
do your research the best you can, and good luck. This guy, he knew that, put it this way, anybody recognize Nathan Bedford Forrest, that was part of his regiment that I believe had those coins. From the research that I did in the area that he found it, I strongly believe that come from his regiment that went through there, because they stayed there 4 nights, and somebody was in a lot of crap when that come missing.
Oh, I'll
Yeah.
bet. And you say that the gentleman who found this, he had only been in the hobby like a month?
Yeah, about a month.
Wow.
right there.
Very, very, very lucky gentleman. I'm sure he's very pleased to have that once he realized what it was.
Yeah, he kind of knew. I mean, he's been into the stuff for a while. He just never, he collected. He was a collector turned, instead of just collecting, he thought he'd go get something himself, is what happened. So,
Right.
Good for him, man. I mean, that's preservation of something that, Jesse James had some of those,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I agree.
So, there was a boot, an old boot, old pair of boots that was in some kind of a burlap sack or whatever it was up there in Kearney, Missouri, which I spent 2 months up there this year. And there's an old barn. They found this, and it was half full of some of Jesse's stuff, and it was only like 2 miles from Jesse James's house. So, I mean, you put two and two together, but you don't hear about that too much.
No, no.
Because of what happened before with, what was it, the dog found all that, and the government tries to take what you got and all that stuff. So if you do find something big like that, don't tell nobody.
Right, yeah. Mr. Bill there, he's like, wow, talk about beginner's luck.
Absolutely.
But that is nice. And I guess Tommy had posted all over this morning, which, by the way, thanks, that I didn't have to share the promo anywhere today. I mean, he just blasted Facebook with it this morning. I'm clocking out from work and my phone's going nuts, and I thought, what's going on with my phone? And I look down and Tommy's just going to town. Wow, thanks.
You know, I haven't even been on Facebook. I've been packing. I head to Tennessee, and I hadn't even been on there. And then I got talked into this Instagram thing, and that thing's been blowing me up. But anyway, I'll have to get on there, and I've got your stuff pulled up right now, subscribed. I believe it made it number 100 on your YouTube.
All right.
I see your videos right here, so I'll start watching them after the show.
Congratulations, Tommy.
Thanks. That means I'll be doing a little giveaway later on then.
All right. And I do believe we're joined by another fellow detectorist. Who do we have, caller?
Hey, how you doing, Josh? Yeah, this is Craig from Illinois, Stryker.
Hey, Craig, how you doing, buddy?
How's it going?
I'm doing fine, sir. How are you and Kenny doing?
Doing good, but I'm going to leave the Sasquatch to you.
I saw that. Well, hey, he's still the reigning hide-and-go-seek champion.
So. He is.
That's true. That's true.
He is. He really is. And the first person he actually comes up and slaps, well, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, you better have
the first person he tags, we'll hear about it.
Right. Have some jerky on you for that one. So,
yeah.
But,
that's right.
Because as usual, Jeff, you got a great show and everything, and thanks for putting up with me. But with your guest, I use the AT Pro now and then also, with an F75. I recently picked up an MX5, which I've been playing with. But with your guest, with his detecting everything, if he could go to one place, where would he like to go and metal detect, and what would he like to find?
Good questions.
Man, I was just kind of talking to Josh about this before the show, is that
right.
I really got watching Kenny's videos, and where I'm from, I'm not from Chicago. I'm from Tennessee, and not that far from where Kenny's at. And I remember as a kid, ever since I was like 9, 10 years old, moved to Tennessee, and we started going to Shiloh and all the reenactments, and just going out there and walking around the battlefields and everything. Is like, for me, I wish I would have started metal detecting back then. Just because as a kid, we would run through the woods and all that kind of stuff, and find old homes, old barns and stuff, just in the middle of the woods. And like for me, one of my big things is to get down there and have some spots.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I agree. I was at Tennessee once, like 10 years ago, and just drove through it, and beautiful state.
Oh yeah, great.
It is. I love it there.
And but at the other time, the other thing, Josh, that was a very nice shout out to Ron from Windy City. Unfortunately, as you know, it's really sad. He's closing next month.
Oh.
Yeah. And in fact, I just talked to him today. Yeah, I just talked to him today, and probably like before the end of October, he's going to be closed.
Wow.
And he's been around there quite a while.
He has helped more people than you can imagine. And
absolutely.
Yeah. He's ready to retire, and I'm like, are you sticking around? You're going to Florida? And he says, no, I'm going to stick around here. And I says, well, you can't close the store then unless you're leaving the state. So, I lost that argument, so he said it's time and he's ready to go. But that was a nice shout out. But he will be sadly missed.
Yes, he will. I had the opportunity of speaking with Ron right there within, a few times, the weeks approaching Detectapalooza, and just a really great guy to speak to on the phone. He's never too busy to talk to his customers. He makes time. He answers your questions. He tries to get you what you're looking for.
Yep.
And the great thing, if he doesn't have it, he will go out of his way to try to find it for you, even if that's not his sale.
Yep. There were still quite a few people like him, which is rare. I mean, he just doesn't, you walk in there and go, okay, I'll take this detector. But, he goes, why? What are you going to do? And shows you how to use it instead of just grabbing the box and saying, thanks for the sale. And there's a lot of other companies out there that we know that do that, which is awesome. That take the time and ensure you understand the machine. And that's a rare breed.
Yes, right. And, Rich is the same way at Rich O'Connor there at Colonial Detectives, and he moved up to Connecticut, if I remember. And he, as soon as he'll, if you don't have it, he'll try to find it. And once you commit to that, you're blasted with emails. It's here it is, here's what time it's coming, here's getting questions, and just makes you feel like, I ain't got to worry about nothing, just order it and wait for it.
Right. Well, that's very unfortunate. I am sorry to hear that, but at least he gets one more shout out.
Yeah, he does. But as usual, Josh, thank you very much for taking my call. Great show as always, and very good guest. Thanks for answering my question, and you guys have a great night.
All right,
thanks, man.
You too. Thanks for the call.
Thanks a lot.
And I guess I should mention, I believe Tommy had spread the promo around Facebook this morning, and then he had to get to work. And once he got home from work, he did another kind of shotgun pattern through Facebook to tell everybody that they really need to listen to the show tonight.
Yeah.
So for those who may have missed that post, hopefully you've paid close attention to the show. If not, you may want to drop back and check out the archive after we go off air. It'll be labeled as a recorded broadcast until tomorrow morning, where I give it a different label. But it'll be the most recent archive. Go back, listen to that, because we've got information all just kind of peppered through the show. And if I remember correctly, on Tommy's Facebook group, Metal Detecting Chicago and Beyond, he's going to post a question about tonight's show. And how are you? What was the rest of that, Tommy? You were going to, what was that? Anybody with a correct answer posted properly would be entered into a random drawing?
Yeah, on my Facebook group, Detecting Chicago and Beyond, I'm going to post a question up there regarding something that was asked or said on the show. And whoever has the right answers, I was going to run it for 24 hours, and all the people with the correct answer will be entered into a random drawing using random.org. And after 24 hours, I was going to do a drawing, and I have some old coins and silver coins that I was going to be giving away. So,
yeah, it looked like a little prize pack of, I don't know, half dozen coins, I believe.
Yeah, about 5 or 6 coins, 2 foreign silver coins, some other buffalo nickels, Indian head, and stuff like that. But just probably tonight or tomorrow morning, I will post the question up on my Facebook group, Detecting Chicago and Beyond. Just go on there, be a member, comment on the post with your answer, and all the correct ones will be entered into a drawing.
Right. Kenny, you may want to edit your link you posted in the chat.
Oh. Okay.
I think you may have had a little bit of a typo in there.
Maybe.
Looks like you're trying to get Trooper Bry the link for Rich.
Right.
But yeah, for the listeners, if you're on Facebook, might want to go and check out Detecting Chicago and Beyond. I'm sure that there's time, maybe Tommy will allow a little bit of time where he can get those extra members added before he posts his contest. And then I would imagine there's a good possibility that may be a pinned post or kept very near the top of the group so that people can spot that easily.
Yeah, that will be under the pinned post. So just send a member request. I'll add them on there through the night and into tomorrow, and as they keep coming in, and you'll be able to find the post underneath the pinned post at the top of the page.
Okay, so for you smartphone users, if you're accessing Facebook through your smartphone, remember to tap that spot that says View Pinned Post.
Yep. Very
Some
top of the
people,
page.
it's real easy to forget that.
Yeah.
And how long have you been running the Facebook group Detecting Chicago and Beyond?
I think it's only been up there for maybe like 3 or 4 months, maybe 5, something like that.
Okay. And how many members are you up to there now?
As of before the show, I think it was at like 360.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it's moving along quite well.
Yeah, not that much. We've been getting a lot of new members. Started off with just creating a group to share finds, share tips, stuff like that for people. And
right, maybe kind of primarily for the Chicago area hunters or something.
Yeah, I had somebody ask me that before the show. It's Detecting Chicago and Beyond. The Beyond part is for anyone outside of Chicago. It isn't just based in Chicago. I just wanted to use the Detecting Chicago as that's also my YouTube channel. And
nice, good play on words.
Yeah. Anybody from anywhere, I've got a few people over there from the UK on the page. So you got any finds and want somewhere to share it and have some conversations, anybody's welcome.
Yeah, exactly. Post your finds, share your stories, and enjoy it. Have fun with the hobby, have fun with the group.
Yep. Yeah, I post up on like history, archaeology, pretty much anything treasure, history related. Pretty much what groups mainly focus on.
Right. Oh, that's not bad at all. And I have seen a number of the posts on there myself. There's been a lot of nice videos posted by people.
Yeah.
A lot of
we got
nice finds.
a few guys on there that make some pretty nice videos and finds. Yeah.
Good. And I don't know what I was thinking when I posted that link, but he's got another one as well. Swansea put a correct one up there.
Yeah, I see Swansea got it.
But also, if you want to just email him to see if he's got this or that, I can put that up. He wouldn't mind for that one right there. That'll also work. If you got a question for him, he'll email you right back. So Rich is a good guy. He'll help you out.
Absolutely. I've dealt with him myself, too. Definitely. Well, then, go ahead, Tommy.
On the Windy City Detectors, I was going to bring up later on, since you mentioned it when we first started the show, I had talked to Ron. He's retiring, so he is closing the shop. Right now, if you're still wanting or looking for machines, he does have all of his inventory, the machines he currently has, listed up on a link if you go to his Facebook page or his website, and has some pretty good discounts for machines. So if you're looking for a machine or anything like that, he's got machine books, accessories, everything up there, and all discount prices. So if you're looking to get anything, right now would be the place to get it from a really good guy. Even after you buy it and he closes his shop, he'll still be willing to, take your calls, your emails, or anything and help you out.
Right, that's a good point. And really, like you said, right now, if you're looking for a particular item, you may want to check with him because that could be at a great price.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's got a lot of stuff discounted on there. If I had the spending money right now, I'd be buying 1 or 2 machines he's got. So.
Right, I know what you mean. I'm kind of going, ooh, yeah, I probably ought to stay away from that right now. I'm gonna. Otherwise, I'll be broke by the time I get to work.
Yes, and Mr. Josh Marsh is asking how you like that new coil.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the Nell Sharp.
Yeah. The Nell Sharp's really good. I was kind of surprised with it just for the fact that I was still getting decent depth with it. Just that it's a round 5-inch coil, and compared to the AT Pro stock coil, I'm only losing maybe 2, maybe 3 inches. I'm still finding parts that are 6 to 8 inches.
Is that a double D coil?
That's not
bad.
bad.
It is. Yeah, it's one of their double D deep speaking coils. So I guess.
Right. Well, I went the other direction and got the 17 by 15 double D, which I have a video out with that. And that thing is a beast.
Yeah, there you go. That's like the 17-inch coil for the CTX. You're just figuring you're going to pick up a car hood in China.
Yeah.
Actually, at the beginning of the year, for next season, I'm probably going to get a Nell Tornado for my AT Pro as well. So.
I got the Nell Attack coil, and that thing. Well, the one video I was close to. Actually, I was right in the very same place that one of the episodes of Diggers was out on this season's episode. Exactly, I was actually about probably 20 yards from where they pulled that shell up. But anyway, yeah, that's where I was at on that other video, and I was pulling out Maynard's, which is not a very big bullet, 44. It's bigger than 44, 54 cal. And they were 14 inches with that coil.
Right. Man. So you've definitely got some plans to accessorize the AT Pro. Maybe even pick up a new machine next year.
Yeah.
The way it sounds, there's no plans on getting away from the AT Pro then?
I'm probably going to stick with the AT Pro, just because of the facts of weather and everything, and I can pretty much take it anywhere and hunt in Chicago.
Right.
But like I said, I'm probably interested in picking up a Deus or maybe even an E-Track.
Ooh.
The Silver Slayer.
That's right. I know of a few Chicago hunters that have definitely tore the place up for silver with their E-Tracks.
You're not going to go bad with either machine. That Deus is just a brilliant machine.
Yeah, either will do you very, very well. It's just, going to the AT Pro and stuff, it's just taking the time to learn what the machine's saying.
Yep. Yeah, my hunting partner has an E-Track that he's looking to get rid of to get a CTX. So I've used it a few times and kind of learned my way around it a little bit. It's kind of more of an advancement than switching to the AT Pro.
Right, but, I was going to say, for you, going from an AT Pro to an E-Track, the tones are probably really throwing you for a loop.
Yeah, that was the main thing. I kind of found myself going to the VBIs, and that really wasn't working that well. And kind of was to the point it was like, okay, for now, just take this back and let me use my AT Pro and see how I do with it.
Right, going, what's going on? It sounds like a calliope stuck in my head.
Yeah.
They do have their very distinct tones, but I don't know. I mean, the AT Pros are good. I'm not knocking them at all. And the White's machines are good and stuff, but for me, I'm very, very comfortable with those Minelab tones.
Yeah.
It's like, putting on a familiar shirt or something. You're just, you're right there in your zone.
Yeah.
That's a good place to be, is in the zone.
That's right. Gotta love the zone.
With Craig Stryker that called in and said he had just got an MX-5. That's also another machine that I've kind of been interested in and been looking at a little bit.
Well, I know, let's see, it was a week, maybe 2 weeks ago. I was on the phone with him for a while discussing his thoughts on the MX-5. He thought it was going to be a very interesting machine to mess with. He's had his eye on it for a while, too. And for those that know Stryker, he's been in the hobby a while. It's not his first time at the rodeo, so he did his research, looked things over, and saw enough good points there that he thought, hey, you know what? Why not? I'm going to give it a try. And from what I've heard, he's satisfied with it, we'll say.
Yeah.
Yep. Good deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything that you would like to add to this, Tommy? People, maybe where they can find you, plug your Facebook group again, your YouTube channel, any tidbits of advice for, say, somebody coming into the hobby, or even for maybe there's somebody out there in the Chicago area that's been watching Tommy Decker's videos or seeing posts from Tommy Decker, and they're looking at him going, hey, I'd like to get into this. Maybe some advice for them?
Yeah, well, my Facebook group is Detecting Chicago and Beyond. You can come there and join up. I have my YouTube, which is Detecting Chicago, and with earlier community subscribing, I think probably by now I've reached over 100 subscribers. So I will be doing also a second giveaway on there in the next coming up days as well that I posted on Facebook earlier.
Yeah, so Tommy's going to be a busy guy. He's got a giveaway for, to pertaining to the show, a giveaway coming on the YouTube channel. Definitely going places.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And holding down a job while he's doing all of this.
Yeah, with the job now, I get to, I get to get out about 2, maybe 3 times a week. But, I still get out, and now it's more researching areas. So when I do get out, I know the potential areas I'm in. I've gotten a good chance of knowing that there's old history that goes back there. So if I take the time and just, dig it all.
And we do have an update from Relic Dirty Hands. She subbed as well, and you are currently at 110 subscribers.
Sweet.
All right.
A Rain.org giveaway on there too. With that one's a little bit more coins than the group giveaway is. It's got 2 more foreign silver coins, an 1818 U.S. large cent, and some other foreign coins as well. One that's kind of rare coin. It's a 1787 French coin that's like only 300,000 was minted that year. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Well,
wow,
so for the listeners, they definitely want to keep an eye on the Detecting Chicago YouTube channel.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like I said, I got another video that I got to either edit tonight or maybe tomorrow and post up there of this past Monday's on as well. So there's always videos on there. I was posting like multiple videos a week, but now I've broken it down to where they're a little longer videos. It's one video for just any trips I get out during the week. So kind of make it more easy on folks that don't really have the time to sit there and watch 3 5-minute videos and just combine them all into one.
There you go. Definitely not a bad idea at all. And I see where Dirt Bandit posted in the chat. Very well put, Kenny. Click the hands and rate the show.
Absolutely. Yes.
So for the listeners, if you enjoyed the show, by all means, click the hands, throw us some stars, share the love, and really, for Tommy, definitely appreciate you taking the time to sit down with us.
No problem, Josh. Anybody who's in the Chicago area who's looking for maybe getting into the hobby or somebody to hunt with or some tips or pointers, they can always get a hold of me on Facebook. Got a few guys that I've ran into recently on Facebook that are just getting into it or their kids are getting into it and want somebody to take them out. So if you're looking for somebody in the Chicago area, you can always find me on the group or my personal page or anything and just send me a message.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But, and as I was saying, thanks for sitting down with us. It's always a pleasure. And definitely nice to touch base with you again. You were on the show back in July. We got to talk a little bit when I was in Chicago last year. Good times. Definitely good times. For everyone else, if you've enjoyed the show, rate the channel, toss us some stars, and you know how it goes. You never know what's going to happen next. The only guarantee we have at this point is next week, Stealth Diggers are back. Which we did have Keebler in the chat. Hopefully he will be joining us next week, and we'll hear some more funny stories from them, some more of their antics, we'll say, because it's always a blast to have them on the show. So it should be a good time.
Yeah, also with that, Josh, I should be going to a high spot, and I should be, with this new military phone, it's got a sat deal in, I should be able to do the show from one of the mountains up there while I'm ginseng digging. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of, there's a little bit of comical irony in its own, too. We'll have Keebler on the show, and you can tell him you're even calling in from a tree.
That's right.
Well, hang in there with me, guys. We'll roll out of here. We're a little, we're making the show a little short tonight, but definitely some good information. Check out the archive. Make sure you pay attention to it because Tommy will be posting his trivia question over on Detecting Chicago and Beyond.
That's Facebook. Right, and remember, dig it all, baby.
Exactly. So, thanks for dropping by, folks. Hang in there with me, guys. We'll see everyone else next week. Until then, keep the coil to the soil, dig it all, and may all your finds be good ones.